Hello everyone, Argsy here. Welcome back to Spectacle Island. Just admiring our honours board here, looking at all the wonderful people who've helped us out over the past 7 or so episodes, and of course we'll have someone else coming to help us today. They're not here yet, and that's not to worry because we just have a few small tasks to do before we get into some proper work. I want to get the seed mixer going and get some more seed made. We have the wheat field to plant. We're going to get some fertilizer spread on that, which might actually be the first job that the worker does. But if you remember from last episode where we saved the farm. Hooray! We've got rather big grass field to go and get cleared of a lot of trees, a lot of logs, and then get that mowed and decide what we're going to do with it, whether we're going to make silage or whether we're going to bale it or what exactly we might do with that. Have to decide there. We've also got a whole lot of wood chips, which we just have a look over the back here. We've got a whole lot stacked up here too, so we might have to look at selling those sometime. Got the truck to get running, lots and lots of things to do. We've even got to buy a corn heater. This corn is getting pretty close to being ready to harvest, so we might even send our helper today down in the combine to pick up a new corn heater for us. And we might even look at, now that we have access to our greenhouse, putting some manure in there and getting that up and running. There isn't too much manure in the pig pen, but there is enough. So first things first, we need to get a bag of seed. So we've got the oats in here. What's in the bag? A few potatoes. We do have the oats there. We need to get those and put some up in the seed mixer. So I'm hoping we can get that over and working, but we need to get to our bag handler, which is in the back here. Is that something I can manhandle around, or do I need to, looks like, no, it must be too heavy. So we're going to have to move a few things here and get our wheel loader in. So we'll sort that out and go and try and get the seed mixer up and running. Alright, we were able to wiggle our way in there and get that extracted. So we should now, I remember exactly how we have to do this. We have to come up next to the bag. Now, I had all sorts of issues with this bag handler, so we're going to have to see. Oh, we've picked the wrong one up as well. Alright, let's see how this is going to work. So we're going to have to position ourselves better over the oats. Not think about having an issue of having them too close together. There we go, we've picked up the right one that time. I think, if I recall correctly, I could strap it in place to stop it swinging around. Right, that seemed to be where we had all the issues. So I think we'll just leave it hanging there. It's got that bit of a cradle which is holding it in place. It's actually behaving a lot more stable than it did last time. So I'm not too sure whether we can just come over and put this here, whether it will fill in. There we go. It is going into our seed mixer. So we'll, I wonder if it's going to take it all. We don't want it to take it all because we were saving some of these for our horses when we get them. Let's just have a look here. The seed is about 3/4 full. We are full of herbicide. Obviously we've got the tote there of herbicide next to it. So that is producing seed. So I might just... I'll tell you what, we'll fill it up. We're not going to get horses anytime soon. Maybe one of our next crops can be oats. So we might as well use all of this up. And we will have another opportunity to grow some oats before we do get any horses. But for now, let's put this back in and we'll leave that running. We'll get the log fork hooked up and then we're going to head up to the field and make a start on moving those logs around. So we've got the log fork here on the front. We're just heading down to the area we mowed. Probably could have snuck through the back of the field, but we'll stick to the track. Obviously the wheat field there, that is where we will be starting to possibly get some planting done today. But more likely we will just get the fertilizer applied to it. Obviously if we can apply some fertilizer now, that will take care of one fertilizer state, and that will just leave us one to put on with our planter if we can, or one to apply once the crop has been planted. So that would be a nice efficient way to do it. But we do have to look potentially at upgrading our seeder at some stage. We've obviously got the better planter, but the seeder was next on the list. Now I've had a little bit of a look. I think there's some space over there past where I've mowed already to put these logs and have them out of the way and be able to still come and unload them out on the other side if we need to get to them while there's a crop or whatever we do with this ground. We may even leave this as grass. I'm not actually 100% sure what we're going to do. But I'm just going to see how we go getting this hooked up. Obviously, one of the upgrades I do want to do is a new wheel loader or a new loader of some description. So that might be something we can work towards, as well as that planter, or seeder, sorry. And getting the truck organised. So plenty of things we want to get. But I'm just going to crack on and get this done. We've got, I think I tallied up about 30 or 35 logs, so not a small number. And some of them, like this one, are pretty big and ungainly to handle. So we'll see how we go. We'll get them moved and we'll catch up with you soon. Hopefully by then our help for the day might be here. So I think these are the last two logs out of the field. Now I've decided I've graded them a little bit. These ones over here, there's about 8 or 10 or so. These will be a good size for firewood, so I thought if I put them over here, they're separate from the other logs, still easy to access, and we can get in there and cut those up for firewood. Whereas the pile on the other side, and to be honest, there was a lot more logs there than I expected, and we've got a huge pile. I'm not sure how and when we might have the time to move these, but look at that. It's quite a significant number of logs. So we're going to have to figure out a way that we can get those moved around. Now there is a couple over here, just some I'd already cut up for firewood last time. Hopefully we can just get these moved off out of the way as well. Obviously that'd be better off on the other side, but as they are all individual and scattered around, it's a long way to carry them. I'll just get them pushed out of the way. There might be one more after this one. And I have heard that our helper is here too. Apparently he came in by boat. Two more there. Yeah, one of the boats dropped them off right on the edge next to the house. So he's down there waiting for us, which is nice. We'll be able to get him working on that wheat field, getting that fertilizer spread, and we can get down here and start mowing the grass. There we go. I think that is them all. I can't see any more. We can get out and move them though if we do spot any when we're down here mowing. So we'll head back down to the farmyard and see who we've got to help us today. Here we are back at the yard again, and there is our helper waiting patiently to help. Nothing else for it really. So today here we have Kieran Leopold. Now Kieran sent me a message. He said he's studying his third term as a soil and water tech student at the local university. So I've also got a bit of a passion for the water, hence coming in by boat. So welcome along, Kieran. We're great to have you here. We're going to put some of your learnings to work. We're going to get you out fertilizing. So we've got the field we just had some wheat on, which is over that way, and we're going to get some dry fertilizer spread on that. So hopefully you'll be able to get the right application rates and the right blends put on there to help us boost the yield. So welcome along, and we'll go and get you started off. So there we are, we've got Kieran all set up there in the Deutz. He gets the benefit of having the cab, because obviously if we're running the mower we need to use the Fent. So I think we're about half full on the fertilizer. I'm not sure if that's going to be enough actually to be doing this whole field, but that's all we actually had here in the yard. So we may, we'll see how far it goes. We may have to shoot down to the store and pick up some more. But we'll just pull in here, and obviously we will be using Courseplay to get this done. So we'll just pull in here and bring up our Courseplay controls. We've got our course generation. This is field number 3. We'll just do the one headland pass, and we've only got a single tool, so we'll generate the course there. That all looks pretty nice and smooth, and we can just let go and send Kieran off. So we're going to leave him there We can see the colour changing on the soil, so that fertiliser is going on nice and smoothly. But we are certainly going to run out. We're already chewing through it there, so we'll leave Kieran to it, and we'll make some plans on how we're going to go and get some more. Alright, so with Kieran underway, we'll jump here in the fence, and we are going to head down and get that field mode. I'm still contemplating what I'm going to do with the grass. I think we'll probably pick it up and make it into silage. We've still got enough grass to keep the sheep fed. Those grass bales aren't disappearing too quickly, so we're not in a hurry for that. What I'd dearly like to do is get a bale wrapper to make some silage bales, and then we can obviously sell them a whole lot quicker than having to wait for the silage to ferment. Plus we can handle the bales a lot simpler as well, using the loader than having to take the silage out of the pit and put it into a trailer to go and sell, or the truck when it's finally up and running. So that's something we might also have to have a look at, along with all those other things I listed a little bit earlier. But we'll get down to the field and we'll get mowing. Alright, so here we are, we're at the edge of the field. I was planning on going around and mowing this. Again, it looked like it had grown, but it's obviously not grown enough to be mowed. So we'll just jump in and square the field off. You can see it has got a single growth stage on it, but of course that is not at the level it can be mowing at yet. So we'll just, and you can just see in the front there, we can see the doits going around and around. So I think we are just going to crack in and get this done. We will time-lapse getting this mowing all sorted, and we'll see you when it's finished. Running along the last pass in this field. I must say this is a pretty sweet field. It's nice and square, but not perfectly square. A bit of interest in it, but we'll make it quite nice and easy to work in. So I'm looking forward to getting in and doing a lot more work in here. There we go, we'll get that turned off. Now you would have noticed halfway through there we had to jump over to the other tractor and turn course play off. They are out of fertilizer, so I've been thinking about what we're going to do. See, we could go down and buy a whole lot of single bags. We could go down and fill the fertilizer spreader up down at the shop. But what I might do, I might actually take the front loader down and put the trailer on the back of that, and we can pick up a couple of bags of fertilizer, because I think we'll need some for our planter as well. So that is the plan at the moment, and if I do that, or Kieran does that, then the other one can take the combine down and get the header. So you got about halfway across by the looks of things, just looking across there. But yes, as I was saying, the other one of us can take the combine down and we can pick up the corn header at the same time. Obviously we don't have a header trailer or anything like that, and we've got nowhere to lift it down at the shop, so the only option really is to take that combine. So I'll get things hooked up down at this end. I'm just wondering whether we take that bag handler. I think that might be the best option. I'm not entirely sure though. It's a long way to go if that doesn't work. Anyhow, I will think about it, I'll figure out the best choice, and we'll go from there. Alright, there is Kieran heading off on the harvester to head down and get our corn header. Not the most efficient way to be doing it, but about the only way we can at the moment. So I'm going to head over here. We've got the trailer hooked up to the wheel loader. We've got the bag handler up on the front. So we're going to take our chance with getting a couple of bags of fertilizer all loaded up using that. So we'll head on our way down there and we'll meet you down at the shop. Well, unsurprisingly, we have beaten Kieran down here. The combine certainly does not go at 31 miles per hour like the front loader does. We have to give that a clean when we get back to the farm too. That is looking filthy. Right, we will pop in here. Now, I need to be wise about this because we only have just under 7 grand. So I think our first purchase needs to be our corn header. Now, it is only $1,000. You can see it there. Corn and sunflowers, 4 meters wide. How does that compare? So it's a meter narrower than the grain header we have. That is that there. Let's just have a look. It's a pretty simple and rudimentary. It takes 5 rows at a time. But should do the job to get our corn harvested, which is the key thing. Obviously, another thing we can work our way up to upgrading is the combine. So with just under $6,000 left, I reckon we will grab a couple of these bags of fertilizer. This seemed to be the most affordable way to buy it for us. 2,000 litres for just over $2,000 compared to the standard big bag, which is just under 2,000 litres, but only gives us 1,000 litres. Just under $2,000, sorry, and only gives us 1,000 litres. So I think if we go in here and we will pick up 2 of those, $4,200, which will only leave us a very small amount of money, $1,700. But we do know that we will be finding ways to recover that and keep things moving on the farm. So we'll head up onto the deck of the boat and get those bags loaded up, and hopefully by the time we've done that, Kieran will be here and we can help him put the header onto the combine. I'm going to try and make this as straightforward as possible. We've unhooked the trailer there right in front of these. Now obviously they won't hook up, I don't think, if we just top off here. Oh, look at that, we do get the option to attach them. That is fantastic. So that's even better than I thought. I thought I was going to have to try and hook those up using the tension straps, which I'll just demonstrate very quickly here. Reasonably tight on this, but do start wobbling around. So we'll get that one put back down there. Now again, we're going to have to hop out and get that disconnected. There it is. And here comes Kieran, so that is good timing. I'm going to put down and get the other one hooked up on to the front there. Make sure we don't put this too far towards the back. Over the top of the axle would be a good spot to have it. They seem to sit better when I tip the handler back just a little bit on the front, but that looks like a pretty good spot right there. We're just dropping that onto the trailer a little bit. We'll hop up here, get that disconnected and backed out of the way, and we'll get the trailer hooked up again. Kieran has arrived at the waiting point there on the auto drive course, so we'll get this hooked back up, throw a couple of tyres over those so they don't go flying. Here we are, and we'll see how we go about getting this header hooked up. I was going to say a header hooked up. We'll just pull up here. We'll do this from the cab view. Well, seated view, first person perspective. Get a little bit closer, that looks about right. Now of course this is one thing we can attach from outside the cab, and that looks like it's fitting reasonably well, which is great. So we'll just drive forward here and we'll set Kieran off on the auto drive course back to the yard, and we'll make our way back in the front loader. So we've just arrived back here. I'm just going to swing out into the field. Obviously it doesn't matter if we drive over this, it is not planted or anything like that, so we'll just get out here and top up the fertilizer spreader, and we'll be able to do that just by parking next to it. We should be able to just hop into the tractor, press the magic button, and get it to start filling. There we go. Said it before, say it again, I do like how these bags shrink when they are being filled. It's quite a cool little effect or feature of them. You can see, probably around this side's a better way to look at it, that front bag is certainly looking a lot more slender than the back one. So that should give Kieran enough fertilizer to get that field finished without any hassles. So we'll head back up to the sheds and get this lot unloaded. Got the first bag unloaded already in the shed, just grabbing the second bag here off the front. Let's sway around a little bit, we'll just get it tipped back there and sit in that cradle. Like I said before, it seems to be the best way to do this. Now I might just put this here on the other side of the lime. We'll just started stacking some of this stuff up the front here. Not sure if that's the best place for it to be or not. Hopefully jump out there and get that disconnected. So after cursing this bag handler the first time I used it, it's actually performed pretty well, I must admit. Now we have run out of seed already, or run out of oats in there to make the seed, so I'm just going to go in here and grab this bag back out and put the rest of these oats into the seed mixer, so we make as much seed as possible and are all ready to go when it comes time to planting. And there we go, it looks like it's going to take all of that as I thought it might, so that's good. It gets that bag emptied and almost out of the way. I do need to keep on thinking about how we keep this farm tidy. It's still not quite at the stage I'd like it to be. We're sort of just putting things around, about not always putting them in the most practical places. If we just get this put back in here, and we'll leave that bag there for now to find another use for it. Just while we wait for Kieran, I did say I'd give this a wash off, so we will do that very quickly. He cannot be too far away at all. Alright, there we go, that is looking much better. So we'll get this moved out of the way and keep an eye out for Kieran. And here he is, back at the yard. So about an hour spent, but we will be able to get back to our tasks we were doing beforehand. Looks like we're going to have to get some diesel too into this combine before we start our corn harvest. Fortunately we do have some. We should have actually looked at topping it up when we were down at the shop. If I had realised it was as low as it is, that would have been a sensible thing to do. We'll just leave that parked up there, and we can go back down, get Kieran running on the spreader, and we will then make some plans for what we're going to do for the grass. So there goes Kieran. He is back underway with the fertilizer, so that should not take too much more time to be finished, and we'll be able to move on. What I'm going to do, I'm going to go and jump into the fence, and we are going to hook the windrower up, and we're going to go and get the grass windrowed and get it all picked up, and we're going to put it into the silage bunker. I think that's going to be the best way to make some good money off it. Until we can afford to get a bale wrapper, we really have no other option than to put it in here, so we will do that. I've just pulled into the field here where what I'm thinking I might do, I might actually get Kieran to come over and do this. We've got the windrower hooked up, but if we get him to do it, we can set course play up, and he can run the windrower in the fields. If we start on the up and down rows with the headland last, it means we can come in with the loading wagon while he is getting this all windrowed up. So, just like that, timing could not have been more perfect. He is all finished with the fertilizer, so we'll get him. In fact, if we go down to this end of the field, we'll probably be close enough and just see him through the trees. But we can just shoot across the grass and get started on some windrowing. And I can take the Deutz and have a go in that with getting the grass picked up with the loading wagon. So we'll just go and sort things out here. So there we go, we've got Kieran is set up and running here now. Because he's doing up and down rows first, and we'll turn and come back down next to it, it means when he pushes the one windrow to the left, when he comes back the other way, he will be pushing it all back into the same one, which means we should end up with some pretty decent rows. We're just down in this little narrow little bit of the field, just a little bit awkward to get started, but once on the longer rows, things should go pretty well. So we will take the Deutz, we'll leave him going, and we'll go get the Deutz and go get the loading wagon hooked up and come down and make a start getting things picked up and into the bunker. Here we are back down at the field, and if we're quick we'll get across in front of Kieran just there, and you can see the first of these good sized windrows that he's been able to do. We get our pickup turned on, drop down, we should be able to make a start running along here and getting this grass picked up, ready to go down to the pit. So we should be able to run this pretty neatly at the same time while Kieran is still doing his windrowing. Should work out pretty well. As we need to run back to the bunker to unload, he'll be able to get ahead of us again and keep things going. And I'll just run around and pick up a couple of these lumps just while we're waiting for this next big swath to be formed. There we go, run in here. We should get the rest of this all on the headland passes anyhow, and if there's a little bit left over at the end we can always run around and get that ourselves with the windrow or even with the pickup wagon. So we are almost half full. This big swath that he's just done should be enough to get us topped up and first load back into the bunker. Not sure how many we're going to get off this field, maybe 4, possibly 5 wagon loads. We'll just have to wait and see. But what are we, 15,000 litres per wagon, so if we can get 60,000 or 75,000 litres of silage, that would be a good little money earner. I think the best bet for this is to jump into a bit of a time lapse and work along side by side to get this done. So we've just jumped in here, we've ridden around with Kieran for a couple of laps of the field doing the headlands, but I'm just going to stop him there. Otherwise we are going to end up with all our swath pushed right up on the edge of the field and making it very difficult to collect, particularly where we have trees very close to the edge of the field. I'm just going to take over control, we'll spin around here and run around the field once, with the windrower just pushing this all back in so it's a bit easier to collect. Now we've done pretty well so far, we've got almost a full wagon load, which would be our 5th load. I reckon by the time we've been around this headland, we might be getting pretty close to getting 6 full loads out of here, which is 90,000 litres of grass, or chaff, or will become 90,000 litres of silage. So potentially even more profitable than I had first thought. Not to mention all of these logs we've got sitting here. It'll be a bit of an effort to get all those taken down to the sawmill at some stage. But we'll just get this done, and once we have, we'll be able to carry on getting the grass all picked up and into the bunker. There we are, once round, and that is going to make things much easier than it was going to be, having the windrow or swath there too close to the trees. So I think if we just head back up here, we'll be able to send Kieran back to the yard on auto drive, and we'll be able to finish getting these last little bit of grass all picked up. We're just back here, we're heading around the headlands, which could be for the last time, although I'm actually a little bit curious as to whether we're going to get this all in one load or not. There's still quite a bit of grass here, and it didn't take too much of a little section to fill up that last wagon. It's going to be touch and go, I think. 50% to there certainly is. So we'll see how far we get, and obviously the more the better. But we're certainly not going to get it all in one go. There we are, full, and we've got pretty much this whole headland to go. Might be another 2,000 or 3,000 litres. So we're going to get very close, not quite to 100,000, but we are not going to be far off it, which is not a bad result. So we have the last piece out of the field, just under 4,000 litres, which will leave us with 93,751 litres all up, which all needs compacting. I did check it before, we're only 2% compacted, so we've got a little bit of work to do there, getting that all compacted down and ready to put a blanket over. So there we go, that is all emptied out and like I said, ready to get compacted. So we're just going to go and get this disconnected, and we'll come back down and compact it here with the Deutz. Kieran, I think, where's he gone? I think he might have, I can just see the front of the fence there, he's probably got that all backed in and put away over there in the shed for us. There we go, we'll just get this disconnected, take the PTO off, the hydraulic lines, and then we can put that down there. So I am just going to head back down here and start the compaction and just get this done. I'm not going to show it to you all though, I think I might wrap up the episode there and just carry this off, get this all finished off camera, because looking at that I might get stuck a few times and no one wants to see that. So a productive episode. We've obviously got that field ready to plant now. We'll just have to figure out if we can direct seed it or whether it needs a little bit of cultivation, but getting that new field all cleared and all the grass picked up and off that and here into the bunker was a very good result, and we've got our corn header ready to go for next time, and we've got some seed made, so lots done and lots still to do in the next episode. If you'd like to be part of the next episode, please make sure you leave a comment down below and let me know what you can bring to us, what you might be able to offer and how you might be able to help. But I do hope you've enjoyed that episode. Thank you all very much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. for a while, mate. Where have you been? I've missed you and your crazy antics.